The Northerners, they provoke because they don't really get better thing, you understand? And now we decide and we survive them. But now the Buga, they tell us, say, now they get Nigeria, you understand? But relax. What I like to be saying, he get the clout to couple anybody, anyone couple. You know, they fear anybody. We never sleep for the past 1 week because of Tinubu tax reform bill when they send go National Assembly. Tinubu said this bill must get through, even when governors and some other men don't come out to say make you withdraw this bill.
President Tinubu's tax reform bills continue to raise dust across the country, particularly in northern Nigeria, despite passing a second reading in the Senate. At the weekend, youths from northern Nigeria extraction said they are angry with the Deputy Senate President Barau Jibrin because of his alleged anti-North stance on Tinubu's tax reform bills. The President and the Secretary of the Northern Youth Assembly, Mohammed Idris and Abdulaziz Garuba, made this known in an open letter on Saturday, stating that Jibrin's position is insensitive to the region by backing the bills. According to the Northern Youths, Jibrin's position does not represent the North and its interests, and the bills in their current form will clearly place the region in an economically disadvantaged positions. Meanwhile, Deputy Spokesman for the House of Representatives, Philip Agbese, says the House is set to commence debate on the 4 tax reform bills initiated by President Bola Tinubu. Also, the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, has asked the National Assembly to ensure that the content of the proposed tax reform bills align with the interests of Nigerians in the final analysis. In addition, former Sokoto State Governor and Senator representing Sokoto South Senatorial District, Aminu Tambuwa, has kicked against President Bola Tinubu's tax reform bills. Suleiman Nasiru tells us more.
The tax reform bill proposed by President Bola Tinubu have continued to generate controversies as legislators and other stakeholders from northern Nigeria and other parts of the country are kicking against the bills. The Joint Revenue Board of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2024, the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill 2024, the Nigerian Tax Administration Bill 2024, and the Nigerian Tax Bill 2024 are currently pending before the National Assembly. Senator representing Sokoto South Senatorial District and former Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwa, says the timing of the bill is wrong.
The issue of tax bills as presented by President Bola Tinubu to the National Assembly, I believe that this is a wrong time for any upward review of either VAT or any form of tax. The time is inauspicious, the timing is very wrong. These are hard times that the people of Nigeria are going through. What we require of government is for it to focus on projects and programs that will bring succor and relief to the people, not to increase their hardship and burden.
Joining us now on the stance of the northern Nigerian stakeholders on Tinubu's tax reform is Dr. Sani Abdullahi Shinkafi, Executive Director, Patriots for the Advancement of Peace and Social Development. Dr. Abdullahi Shinkafi, thank you very much for joining us on the morning show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the morning show, Dr. Ravan Abati.
Well, thank you. Well, I've seen a document, key facts about these 4 tax bills, and all the positives there. It seems to speak to justice, fairness, equity, support for SMEs, support for the poor, making sure that states receive VAT on what they consume, not international services, non-import and export services. The review also of the distribution, 10% now to the federal government instead of the previous 15%. States will get 50%. Local councils will get 35%. But northern youth say they are angry. Northern leaders say no. Northern Governors Forum say no. How is this a disadvantage for the North. Where do you stand in this matter?
Yeah, you see, first and foremost, the attack by the Northern Youth Assembly is uncalled for because the Deputy Senate President, going by the function and the duties of the Senate President, have to deputize on behalf of the Senate President. And the Deputy Senate President, who was a chairman of the Committee of the Whole and who presided over the proceedings when the bill was passed for second reading, is doing his duties as a Deputy Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So some of these youth were misinformed, and all the attacks, blackmail, mischief-making is politically motivated against the Deputy Senate President. That is my own stand on that aspect. It's not an issue of insensitivity against the northern region. So on the issue of the Nigerian tax reform bills, these bills are 4 bills which have been transmitted to the National Assembly for deliberation by the executive arms of government. That is the Nigeria Revenue Joint Vote, Nigeria Tax Administration Establishment Bill, Nigeria Tax Bill, and also Nigeria Tax Administration Bills. All these reforms have been transmitted to the National Assembly for deliberation. All these controversies are avoidable if are being carefully handled. This Northern Governors Forum rejected the new tax reform bills. National Economic Council, which is the composition of the state governors from the northern and the southern extraction, rejected the tax reform bills. Traditional rulers and even northern democratic leagues and other Islamic clerics. But the most important aspect is for a wider consultation. Most of these governors who have been trying to reject or have rejected the new tax reform bills have not deeply go into the details of the bills. The tax administration bill and the tax reform bill. If they have gone deeply on it, the governors will not be crying foul and not be complaining loudly. These governors who are saying that it will increase the hardship, the governors are responsible for the economic failure, insecurity, chronic unemployment, acute poverty, and educational backwardness in the northern region. The northern leaders of today are not compared. You cannot compare them with the northern leaders of yesterday. If you look at the legacies of the late Ahmadu Bello Sardauna of Sokoto, he left a very important economic, social legacies. Today, they are nowhere to be found in the northern Nigeria. Arewa Textile, Bank of the North, New Nigerian Newspaper, Northern Nigeria Development Corporation, and many economic enterprise. Kaduna Refinery is not working. When the Mr. President also withdrew the police subsidy, which of the governors in the northern region have complained loudly or cried foul? When the electricity tariff have been increased, which of the governors have cried loudly or complained loudly? that the other segment of the country is substanding the northern extraction. So these leaders of today are power drunk, and they are intoxicated by politics, and they only want this money to be allocated to them from the federation account for personal enrichment, not for development of the northern region.
All right. Okay.
So the issue of the tax bill, if you look at, there is good and bad, ugly section of the bill.
Okay.
It has advantage and disadvantage.
All right. So let me come in there, Dr. Shinkafi.
If you look at
Dr. Shinkafi. Yes. All right, so let me come in there where you talk about the advantages and disadvantages. You said a number of things, and I'm glad that you highlight the responsibility of governors, not just northern governors, across the states in managing the economic activities or affairs of their state, and that a number of these governors are not taking on that responsibility, and perhaps this new tax reform bill would push them to doing that. But let me ask you, you said many of them have not read the details of the tax reform bill. I want to assume that you've read it. Now, make a case for it, because if you listen to the arguments from the northern governors, they love the, consultation, there's hardly substance in terms of tell us the reason why, except for when it is information that's not accurate. For instance, what from the Senator Tambuwal said there, that they just want to raise taxes, and that's untrue information. Can you share with us some of the merits, especially as it would benefit all states in Nigeria, not just southern states as being touted by the northern governors? Please, can you share some of those for the benefit of our listening public?
You see, the merit of the new tax reform bill, that small businesses with the turnover are not more than 50 million have been exempted from paying annual taxes. Pharmaceutical product, food items which are imported into Nigeria, educational materials, other agricultural equipments have been exempted from paying VAT. Exportation of goods outside Nigeria has been exempted from paying tax. And income tax for the small businesses were reduced from this thing 30% to 25%. So, and you see, all these controversies is issue of attribution and derivation. That is issue of the bad value-added tax sharing formula. So this is what the governors are raising eyebrow. This is some of the controversies. And also oil and gas are being exempted from paying VAT. So these are the advantages of the new tax reform bill.
Yes,
but on the issue of the sharing formula.
Yes. So can you share with us
on the issue of the derivation?
Yes.
On the issue of the derivation, most of these states, both the southern state and the northern state, because Lagos State contribute 50% of the value-added tax collection, followed by Oyo State, Rivers State, and FCT. And in the northern state, Kano State contribute, and Kaduna State also to the bad food. They are also contributing a significant amount. So most of these states in the northern state are not contributing much, very minimal on the tax on the VAT collection. Some of the state governors will even deduct VAT from contract, and they will fail to remit to the Federal Revenue Services. Some of the small businesses will deduct taxes in the northern Nigeria without filing their returns and remit to the Federal Revenue Services. So these are some of the loopholes, leakages, and what the governors have did to develop the northern state. What have they done in terms of the economical development? What have they done to fight insecurity, illiteracy? Education is a cornerstone of any development. What have they done to develop the sector to generate this revenue? What have they done to also increase the IGR? Because when they are doing, when this money are being shared from the PAC, there are some parameters, indices that have been taken into consideration. Population, land mass, numbers of the hospital beds, IGR, markets. So what have they done to improve these markets? What have they done to improve a hospital to attract revenues? What have they done to improve education? These are some of the challenges I'm putting to the governors.
Okay.
The only way you can increase the revenue generation internally is you have to develop your state. Okay. Many governors have been traveling to the foreign country, junketing all over the country, saying they are attracting investors. Yet there's even no matches or pure water factory they have established in their states.
Mr. Shinkafi, can you hear me?
Who is pulling who?
Okay, I guess you've read the tax bill, right? Can you point out one part?
Yeah.
You've read.
I have read the executive part of it, this executive summary part of it.
Okay. So can you point out one part in that executive summary of it that is anti-North, anti-small businesses, and anti-poor? Can you point out one part from what you have read as a Northerner that has read the executive part of it? Can you point out one part that is anti-North, anti-small business, and anti-poor?
You see,
can you point out one part?
You see, I have read it clearly. Only what I have seen on the part of the northern governors, they are complaining is on the issue of the derivation. Section 77 of the Tax Administration Bill have made it clear how the value-added tax will be collected and also how it will be shared among the tiers of government. It is based on the collection and the consumption. So they are talking of the derivation, what you have derived, what you have collected, and what you have consumed, how it is going to be shared. But to be in fairness to the governors, most of the governors have not taken time to consult widely or ever to go through the bill. Why they are complaining? Because most of these regions, they interdepend on the other region to survive. If they have developed the region, I think I have not seen anything which is anti-North. It's only that the bill is untimely because of the present economic hardship Nigerians are facing. In the previous years, nobody knew about value-added tax. Nobody. It has been established for many decades, but nobody cares about the value-added tax. But because of how the money are going to be shared, based on your performance, based on your contribution into the coffer of the value-added food. So that is why they are complaining. Most of these states are lazy. So most of them are not ready to develop the state to generate the revenue. And that's why they are complaining. So that is my stand. I'm not against any governor, but I'm saying that is the truth of the matter. So that is the gray area. From my own perception, if there is going to be a wider consultation, I think all these controversies are avoidable. We are operating presidential system of government. We have executives, legislature, and also the judiciary. This bill has been passed for second reading, and it has been resolved to be taken to the Committee on Finance. And the chairman Committee on Finance is from Northern extraction. So the bill will be now go for public scrutiny, public hearing, which the governors of the northern extraction, northern governors, foreign traditional rulers, Islamic clerics have the right to present a memorandum during the public hearing. So if the bill has been generally rejected by the members of the society, then the executive arms of the government has no reason to enforce the bill by all means, because it has to go through a parliamentary resolution, and it must be passed by the two joint houses, houses of the National Assembly.
Well, Dr.
So I have not seen any controversies. Yeah, I'm with you.
Please go ahead. You've not seen any controversies? If you could complete that line of thought.
I have not seen any controversy on the bill. It will go for public scrutiny, but some politicians are using it as a campaign tools ahead of 2027 to discredit the present administration. Fiscal policy and fiscal policy in any government strengthen the economy. It will monitor the government spending, borrowing, and tax policies. That is the duties of the fiscal policy. Not the fiscal policy are not being established to artificially impose poverty or hunger or starvation to the citizens of a country. In any country, there's monetary policy, fiscal policies, and these two policies, fiscal policy and monetary policies, are the one driving the economy.
Well, Dr. Shinkafi,
this is the truth of the matter.
Well, you may not have heard about other controversies, but you've done a very good job of justifying the tax reform bills. We're on the same page in that regard. That taxation in this country, in terms of administration, in terms of accountability, was long overdue for a review. There's no problem about that, in my view. But what of the mischief element? Have you heard of the allegations that President Tinubu is bringing these 4 bills to give advantage to states in the south? Specifically, the critics have mentioned Lagos, Bayelsa, Oyo State, and then in the north, the Federal Capital Territory. Have you also heard of the allegation that President Tinubu has a personal interest in this matter, that this is an attempt to alphabetize Nigeria? Alphabeta is the tax collection agency that he was associated with after being governor.
And that's in the bill already.
And that after being governor of Lagos State. So alphabetization. And then the third point, they allege that in fact this is the reason why Attorney General of the Federation in the states, that's at the state levels, the key stakeholders, were not consulted before these bills were hurriedly put before the National Assembly. These are allegations. And some of the people who are reacting against the bill, they are doing so on the basis of suspicion. I have used the word mischief, but are you aware of this as an expert who seems to understand all these undercurrents? And Rufai is just telling me that alphabeta is written into
No, I didn't say
party.
third party.
Let me read what they said, though. Don't say I said alphabeta is written into the bill. Don't cut me. In section, what's it called, 69, they said the tax authority may be deployed to automate tax administration. A relevant tax authority may deploy technology and remit taxes due to supply of digital platform, provided, and they can also use any person in Nigeria, like a third party, to be able to collect, what is it called, like that, taxation and things like that. They included a third-party payment processing platform or computer application to collect or remit taxes due to supply of digital service to any person in the country. Okay. So that's the section of a third party.
That's the third-party content of the bill that people are interpreting in different ways.
Yeah.
If you could respond to some of these allegations, since you are favorably disposed towards the bill, as I am.
You see, the issue of whether Mr. President want to favor Lagos State because they are being hitting nail on Lagos State, Lagos State more than any other state. With the present tax laws or tax bill we have in position now, Lagos contribute 50% of the VAT collected in Nigeria, 56%. Then the other states, both the southern state and also 19 northern states, including FCT, contribute 44% into the VAT pool. So the issue of the controversy I have said earlier is issue of attribution and derivation, the sharing formula. So this issue that has been going around, people have been misinformed on the new tax bill against the presidency, against the Senate president, against some members of the Senate in the National Assembly. So, and if the bill had been, if before the bill had been, if the executive, when they transmitted the bill, it has given room for public scrutiny, that is public hearing. I think all these things are avoidable. You can't avoid mischief making, blackmail in Nigeria. It's the business of the day by politicians and other unpatriotic citizens of this country. So you can't avoid it. Politically, in the business sector, everything. When the Dangote wanted to start operating his refinery, people have been sabotaging it from the authority, part of it. You understand? When the Port Harcourt refinery started working, people have started also making noise. You understand? So you can't avoid all this blackmail, mischief making. The most important thing is for you to be upright in your decision and be very transparent, accountable, and you have to be a prudent manager. So the northern extraction have been saying all kinds of things that if the revenue is being collected, it will be taken back to Lagos because the headquarters of this insurance company, this and that. Look, all these insurance company, banking sector, telecommunication, their headquarters is in Lagos. Why others they have failed to establish some of these industries in their various states? Why? If the northern state had been developed, the way Sardauna started, the way Sardauna was very God-fearing, sympathetic, accountable, transparent, it is the way if the northern leaders of today emulate the legacies of late Sardauna of blessed memory, nobody will be even crying foul about the bad sharing formula. Because it does not have been fully developed, but we are economically backward. Insecurity is still unending for many decades. But that is why all these things they have been complaining all about this thing. But looking at the present economic hardship, present economic hardship, I think I'm very sure the members of the House of Representatives are representing the electorate. Yeah, I'm with you.
Well, we seem to have run out of time, and I would like to thank you very much. Dr. Shinkafi, I would like to thank you very much for joining us.
Say no, see this bill must go National Assembly. They go tackle do you understand? Now make a look me, won't scatter National Assembly. I mean a Senate floor the other day. But many of us now don't know the content of that tax bill. So this is the opportunity for you to know everything when they inside that tax bill so that you can understand what they talk. This guy now can break down everything. Understand? This tax bill, they talk say now the way you consume now you go to get VAT. See no free meal again for the northerners. Now I made the northerners the verse. I say this tax now what you produce, that is the value of what you consume now you go get as benefit. You understand? So next thing I make the northerners they usually mark war. Say this tax bill must not skate through. But President Tinubu say no, it is time to restructure, to reform the tax. Say for the past 10 years they never check our tax bill. Understand? So the northerners they provoke because they don't really get better thing, you understand? And now we they survive them. But like the Buga, they tell us, say, that they get Nigeria. You understand? But relax. What I like to be saying, he get the clout to couple anybody, anyone couple. You know, they fear anybody.